Hey, welcome back. So, um, Christie's is waiting on the finishing touches to my art, which is Waldo. And I was just winging it. I was just kind of going with the flow. I was trying to think outside the box. And I knew that, I had to put it on several different canvases and posters and paper. And so I wanted to make them coincide, and I didn't want to just make one whole image and that's it. I wanted it to be fun, adventurous, spontaneous, outspoken, and kind of forbidden in terms of talent. Forbidden, I use that term, but just kind of very unordinary. And I think I wrote Original Sin on the cactus map, little mini map. Um, Not a map, but it just shows the cross, which can be like a window, whatever. So I draw these different things, and some people play it safe. They put it on one huge canvas, which they charge an arm and a leg for, and then they draw this one image or several different images. Then you have graffiti, which is self um, expression, and then you have abstract, which is just a bunch of different things, or maybe a collage or something like that. But and so I said Michelangelo, and I did all these things, and it made it work because at the end, when you're looking for Waldo, you're like, well, there's a pink elephant in the room. Is he there? Egyptian headdress girl, is he there? You know. So it was a work in progress, and it's going to get mass manufactured, and it's going to be exported, and it's going to be flying all overseas. It's going to be on billboards, and hopefully they can put it on new money. Let's keep our fingers crossed. So at the end, I said, if I put Where's Waldo on there, it would make the rest of the art make even more sense than what it does already. So that's what I did. And I relaxed my hair. I went back to relaxers. And some people just, their system doesn't really accept the head, whatever, and it doesn't work for them, but it works for me. And my hair changed grays. I got a different gray of hair. I saw it today, a few moments ago, and my hair does that 3-day thing where after I relax it, then it calms down and stuff. So I'm high maintenance. I love taking care of myself. I love the baths, and I love the shampooing and conditioning and the whole hygiene thing, and I love to dress, and I love art. I'm definitely, I don't art shame, but I have my own likes and dislikes. And everybody seems to be kind of doing like the Mona Lisa thing with just this one dark person, and the Mona Lisa has been around for a long time, and people still appreciate it. So I saw Starry Night with, I think it was Van Gogh, and so I created this fireball on the money bag, and so they're shooting fireballs, and they're in traffic, and they're going off on each other, and she's burning eggs, and there's this old man wanting you to lead him into the light. And so another thing that makes me high maintenance, I have to use, the best toothpaste, and I have to um, make sure my clothes are neat and clean, and my room is tidy. I have OCD. Not really, but I'm just like perky and pleasant to be around, always in good spirits and stuff, my aura, my energy. And anyway, so it's Waldo in the flesh. And yeah, it changed grades, and it's really nice. I wasn't expecting for it to change grades. I thought that it would. More so. So I had to weigh my pros and cons with my art. I had to, meaning I knew I had to start with cartoons because cartoons have a wide range of things that you can turn it into, and it's fun. It's not too serious, and kids can love it as well as adults. And so, yeah. And then I'm well read. I like to read. I like to go for walks. I like long walks on the beach, and I like walking in the rain sometimes, and I love accessories, purses. I used to rock the earrings, but I don't anymore. I used to have my tongue pierced. Those were my crazy late teenage days. Well, everybody was doing it, okay? So I went and got my tongue pierced, all right? And more than that, I like to rest and meditate and and be my own guru of, just surviving, and I'm a foot soldier, and I believe in prayer. I believe in uh, the power of consistency with my prayer. And anyway, y'all gonna be so jealous. Y'all gonna be walking around scissors happy and shit, putting your fingers through my hair, telling me I better get used to it, putting grease on your fingertips while you braiding my hair. I'm walking by, you want to put the grease on my scalp. The same people that were saying they didn't want my hair are going to be the first people to jump up and say they want my hair. And then you can kill it with all the Jesus peace, but you don't care about, the mission, the voyage that it took to get it. But in an instant, in a nanosecond, you want to get upset about it, but you don't have any comprehension or understanding of what it took to get there. You lack of knowledge, but you have all the steam. Y'all gonna be standing over rice, cooking rices, and then the steam, you're gonna be smoking cigarettes, and steam gonna be coming out your nose and out your ears. And I messed y'all Christmas up and y'all New Year's up with it, and I know you're mad about it. So let's get back to the art. So I was thinking with the troll. I'm thinking how, a lot of artists probably would have left it as it was, like, oh, well, I drew a good picture of an elephant, or I drew a good picture of a Martian, or I drew all the characters in The Simpsons, and probably would have left it at that. But you have to accept constructive criticism and realize the audience views it differently than what your personal attachment to the art is. I wrote data entry on there and stuff. And so you have to know when you need to spice it up or spunk it up a little bit. You have to know when you have to exercise your brain and exercise your right to stand out different from others, that differentiate their style, their technique, and their and their way of drawing about it. So you have to do that. And I was thinking maybe I should do counting sheep. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And it's ironic that the rainbow soul is the black sheep of the family, but ain't that how it goes? So, all right. Anything else we need to get across? I love to cook. Like, I'm one of those people who will get down on a gas stove and turn the knobs up and down, electric stove, whatever. I like to make banana pancakes, and I like to, when you whip the banana in the pancake batter and stuff. And I like to make, homemade beef stew, let the beef boil for about an hour and a half, where it's good and tender. And then, but you put the potatoes in there first, and then in the carrots, and you let that all go for an hour and a half. And then after that, you dice your tomatoes up, put your beef stew packaging in there, and your green beans, and let that cook for half an hour. And then you got beef stew. You always rinse your meat, and I like homemade hash browns. I like the hash brown skillet, where you make hash brown patties and shredded hash browns. You fry them, and you dice your bell peppers, your green peppers, red peppers, yellow peppers, and orange peppers, and you put it in. I can't believe it's not butter. It's the trick to the cake, too. I'll get to that. And then you do the bell peppers. You put in I can't believe it's not butter, a couple of scoops. Dice your tomatoes, put them in there after the bell peppers are getting done. And then after that, you use provolone cheese. And with the hash browns, when they're good and fried, you put the provolone cheese on top. And the bell pepper, you mix the bell peppers and everything in there, and you put the provolone cheese. You scramble a couple of eggs, mix some provolone cheese in the eggs, nice and gooey. You put them on top with the eggs, hash browns. You got your bacon frying. As soon as your thick applewood bacon is done, you put the bacon bits in there along with the eggs, and you stir them up and put them in there, and provolone cheese and sharp cheddar, and or mild cheddar, and then you have hash brown casserole. So on my cakes, I'm like queen of cake here. So with your cake, you always want to go with Betty Crocker. If you do devil's food, I wouldn't recommend it. Betty Crocker. So with Betty Crocker, you put in, I would say about 4 ounces of, I can't believe it's not butter, melted. You put your batter in there. You put, let's see, they say 3 eggs. No, they say 2 eggs. Always put 3 eggs exactly in there. If you want your cake extra moist, you put 4 eggs in there. And then you can add in maybe, let's say, an ounce of milk. And then you want to put the rest in water. And then you get the bundt cake out. You take your oil, don't use corn oil, you have to use vegetable oil. And then you want to powder the bundt cake with flour. Set the cake in there, put it on exactly 375. No temperature down, no temperature up. Put it in there, and then wait exactly 30 minutes. Check it with the fork, and then wait till your cake completely cools down. Give it about 20 to 23 minutes, and then you take the bundt cake and you have it upside down, and you take it upside down, and it comes out perfectly. And you want to top it with Hershey's cookies and cream icing, or I like Cool Whip. They have a Cool Whip like icing out there. If you don't want to use Hershey cookies and cream, there's butter icing and stuff like that you can use. Okay. So you want to do it with the butter icing. People love butter icing. So you want to get like they should have it, or you can do that. You can do whipped icing or whipped cream on top of, no, just whipped cream. Okay. So I'm only talking about things that I made. I have no idea about banana pudding, wafers, whatever. I don't know anything about that. But anyway, so that's the cake. So I said beef stew, banana pancakes. I said the cake. I did the hash browns, and everybody knows how to make Chinese. So another thing. Well, let's just leave it at that. And for an hors d'oeuvre, what have I made hors d'oeuvre? You can take like a bagel. And what I like to do is toast the bagel. Oh, excuse me, a homemade pretzel. No, let's do homemade pizza and leave it at that. You can make a homemade pretzel too. I'll teach you how to do the homemade pretzels for the hors d'oeuvres. But for the homemade pizza, you want to take some Pillsbury Doughboy flour. You want to make it really sticky. You want to whip it up, not too sticky, but sticky enough. So you're looking at about 4 cups of 4-ounce flour, and you oil your pan, you butter your pan, you pre-cook your sausage or whatever toppings you want. If you want your pizza to be like ranch, you can use ranch instead of tomato sauce. I don't use pizza sauce for my pizza. I use tomato sauce. And then so you put the tomato sauce on there when you flatten out the dough, and then you put your toppings on there, your bell peppers, whatever. Put ranch or just pizza sauce, chicken or whatever your toppings are. You put it in the oven on like 375 for about 30 to 35 minutes, and you got homemade pizza, and it's so good. It's better. It's like homemade pan pizza. Okay, so for the biscuits, they got some stuff called Christies or Crustas, but right now in the store they got the Popeyes biscuits. Easy. What you do is you take the dough. Now this dough has to be really sticky. I mean, you're not using hardly any water at all. You're using just enough to make it stick. Make sure there's no crumbles of flour in there, but you want to use like 1.5 ounce to 2 ounces, 1.5 ounce to 1.5 ounce of water, and that takes care of about 5 cups of biscuits. Yeah, and if it's still a little dry, add just enough water. You want it sticky like gum. Okay, so you butter your pan, you oil your pan. I mean just butter. You put a tablespoon of the Christies biscuits. You want to, when you whip in the batter, you want to put butter in it and butter your pan. And then you take a table-sized spoon and you put them on the bake sheet, and you put butter. I can't believe it's not butter on top. About a square of butter will do it. You take them out. They taste just like Popeye's biscuits. I kid you not. Okay. So a lot of people don't know that about me, that I can throw down in the kitchen. I can cook. Yeah, I learned that from banquet serving and stuff, and they would serve all this stuff, and I got really into it. I'm like, oh, I can start making homemade stuff. And so, all right. Well, anyway, make sure you check my art out. It's so fun. I was cracking up. I'm like, where is Waldo? What? Better than Booyah. But and don't forget, Jamaican jerk is always good. Not in the beef stew, but if you ever queue on the grill, or you want to make a hamburger, little bit of Jamaican jerk goes a long way. I mean, you have to literally take a pinch. I would say hamburgers that come in like the regular pack. Let's say something, I'll make 6 hamburgers. You want to put like 4 pinches of Jamaican jerk in there will do it. And but anyway, Jamaican jerk is good. That's something that I don't see a lot of people use. But anyway, with the pretzel, the same ordeal. You want to use Pillsbury Doughboy flour, and you want to take it, make sure it's thick and doughy. So say you're using about 8 cups of flour. Okay, then you want to add in a little bit of baking soda to help it rise, because I heard it helps it rise, but don't put that in your cake. Put a little bit of, I didn't put baking soda in mine, but I know it helps it rise, so we need that rise. And then what you do is you take it and you shape it like a heart. You're crossing over on one heart, you're crossing over on the other heart, and the last 2 you want to indent it in the indented, like right here on the side of the heart. So you have your pretzels, and then when it's baking, nothing but butter or spray butter, and you can use country crock. And then, then you make sure it bakes in the oven. When it's done baking and it's nice and brown, you can take some cinnamon and press the cinnamon on it on both sides, and you have a pretzel. That's what I got for hors d'oeuvres. All right, thanks for tuning in. Go to Christies Art. Check me out cooking online. I know the Chinese food and the steak and stuff, people already saw that it was way too salty, but that's a helpful hint. Use LITE salt. Stop using the regular other salt with the little girl on there. Use LITE salt. Test your food. Don't think it's always going to turn out right, but it's much more flavorful, and it doesn't have all that sodium, and it makes your food taste right. So you want to, with the seasons with Mrs. Dash and McCormick, the perfect pinch, and onion powder is the trick to good chicken, and so you want to use all those fancy seasonings and season it on both sides and stuff. But that's just a helpful little hint. All right, I gotta go. Everybody, check my art out. I know y'all mad about my hair, but to cutting your hair off and relaxing, it really changes the grade. I'm like, ooh, 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 ooh. I'm so happy about it. I'm just a happy person, man. I ain't downer ass people. Like, they ain't got their alcohol, they ain't got their smoke. They is no fun. Alright, so anyway, those are my cooking tips. And let me see. If you want to chop up some strawberries and put it on that chocolate cake, feel free to do so. Okay, so that's it.